Hello, this is Garden State News Now. I'm Joti Rekhi. A tragic workplace accident in Linden. A 71-year-old subcontractor died after falling into a 6,000-gallon container of mineral oil at the Bayway chemical plant. Police say the man from Island was loading the vat when he apparently fell in from the top. Linden and Bayway fire personnel retrieved him, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. His identity has not been released. A 47-year-old woman from East Windsor is accused of stealing around $25,000 from the parent-teacher organization at Melvin H. Krebs Middle School. That's where she served as treasurer. According to the East Windsor Township Police Department, the alleged theft came to light last October when about $10,000 was first reported missing from the group's bank account. Investigators say discrepancies appeared between official statements and records submitted by the former treasurer, Allison Schneider. Police allege Schneider opened a separate bank account and diverted funds from PTO fundraisers between 2021 and 2024, using the money for her own personal purchases. Somber but heartfelt tributes across the Garden State are pouring in as former governor and longtime legislator Richard J. Dick Codey lies in state at the New Jersey State House in Trenton Thursday. The public is paying its final respects to one of New Jersey's most enduring political figures. Governor Codey, who passed away on January 11th at the age of 79 after a brief illness, is being honored in the State House Rotunda. Flags are flying at half-staff statewide in his memory, as ordered by former Governor Phil Murphy through the weekend. New Jersey's 11th Congressional District holds a special primary election Thursday, February 5th, to nominate Democratic and Republican candidates for the U.S. House seat vacated by newly sworn-in Governor Mikie Sherrill. 11 Democrats are competing, including former Congressman Tom Malinowski, Essex County Commissioner Brendan Gill, former Lieutenant Governor Tahisha Way, and others. The sole Republican, Randolph Mayor Joe Hathaway, runs unopposed and advances automatically to the April 16th special general election. Newly sworn Governor Mikie Sherrill made history on day one. Midway through her inauguration speech in Newark Tuesday, she paused and signed her first two executive orders on stage, declaring a state of emergency on utility costs.
I'm going to sign my first in a series of executive orders to declare a state of emergency on utility costs. First, I am issuing an executive order giving the New Jersey Board of Public Utilities the authority to pause new utility requests for additional rate increases, and I will freeze rate hikes to finally provide families with real relief on their energy bills.
Now, the first order directs the Board of Public Utilities to pause or adjust proposed rate hikes, review utility business models, and use existing funds to offset expected 2026 electricity supply increases. That would provide immediate relief amid what she calls a crisis in affordability. The second order accelerates new power generation, solar, battery storage, and nuclear while slashing permitting and interconnection delays to boost supply, avoid grid reliability risks, and prevent potential blackouts or brownouts. Governor Sherrill hit the ground running on her first day in office, signing 4 additional executive orders. Key actions include reinforcing strict ethical standards and zero financial disclosures for administration officials, creating the Office of the Chief Operating Officer led by Kelly Doucette to streamline operations, permitting, and customer service across agencies, launching a cross-agency permitting team, a public permitting dashboard with strict timelines, and the New Jersey report card to show how taxpayer dollars are spent. Establishing the Office of Youth Online Mental Health Safety and Awareness in the Department of Health to coordinate efforts protecting kids from harmful online impacts and prioritizing youth mental health. Dr. Dale Caldwell was sworn in as the state's new lieutenant governor. Caldwell is the 4th lieutenant governor in state history and the first male to hold the position. He will also serve as Secretary of State. Dr. Caldwell, a pastor, longtime educator, and former president of Centenary University, stood with his daughter Ashley by his side, holding the family Bible as he took the oath of office.
We step into leadership at a time of deep national division and growing anxiety. We've witnessed attacks on rights, freedoms, dignity, and truth. We have seen vulnerable communities targeted and democratic institutions threatened. That is why I am deeply honored to serve not only as Lieutenant Governor, but also as Secretary of State, with the immense responsibility for safeguarding our elections and protecting the right to vote.
Dr. Caldwell has held a central role since the election, serving as the chair of the governor's transition team. Outgoing Governor Phil Murphy used his final hours in office to pocket veto two major bills aimed at bolstering protections for immigrants. Democratic governor who championed immigrant rights during his 2 terms, including driver's licenses for undocumented residents, declined to sign measures that would have codified the 2018 Immigrant Trust Directive into law. That directive limits when state and local police can assist federal immigration enforcement. Murphy warned the bill's differences from the existing directive could invite new court challenges, potentially jeopardizing protections for hundreds of thousands of immigrants amid heightened federal enforcement. He also let a data privacy bill expire due to a drafting issue that might conflict with federal law and risk billions in funding. He did, however, express hope for a quick fix in the new session. Murphy did sign a third bill creating safe zones at schools, hospitals, and other sensitive locations to restrict ICE access. The pocket vetoes prevent legislative overrides as the bills pass in the session's closing days. Governor Murphy signed over 100 bills in his final hours Thursday before Mikey Sherrill took office. Key ones include a bill banning restaurants from automatically handing out single-use plastic cutlery and condiments. Diners must request them or use self-serve. Schools, hospitals, and prisons are exempt. It starts August 1st. Murphy also signed a bill bringing cursive handwriting back to public school classrooms. The new law requires school districts to teach cursive writing in grades 3 through 5, with instruction starting this fall for the next school year. Murphy highlighted its importance ahead of the nation's 250th anniversary, saying it equips students to read founding documents, handle everyday tasks like signing checks or opening bank accounts, and provides cognitive benefits. Public schools must now ensure students can write cursive legibly and read it fluently. Governor Phil Murphy signed a controversial e-bike safety bill into law Monday, requiring license registration and insurance for riders of all electric bikes. The measures classify most e-bikes as motorized bicycles, mandating riders be at least 15 years old with a motorized bike license or 17 with a standard driver's license. It also bans riders 14 years and under from motorized bikes and scooters. Lawmakers say the law addresses rising crashes, including recent fatalities, by updating regulations for faster, more powerful e-bikes popular with young people. Critics, including the cycling groups like the League of American Bicyclists, argue it unfairly targets safe, low-speed e-bikes instead of unregulated high-power e-motos and could limit access to beneficial transportation. Murphy also signed a major expansion of the state's paid family leave program into law. He described the bill as historic, lowering the threshold for job-protected paid family leave from companies with 30 employees to those with as few as 15. It also eases eligibility rules, cutting the required time with an employer from 12 months to just 3, and the hours worked from 1,000 to 250 in that period. Workers can still take up to 12 weeks to bond with a new child or care for a seriously ill loved one, receiving up to 85% of their pay, capped at $1,119 per week in 2026. New Jersey, brace yourselves. A major winter storm is bearing down this weekend, with the National Weather Service forecasting a high chance of significant snowfall starting late Saturday and continuing Sunday into Monday. Let's bring in meteorologist Mike Favetta for a look at the Garden State forecast. Mike, how bad are we talking?
Joti, I think it'll be impressive. You even asked me before the show, can't remember the last time it snowed this big. So big snow's on the way. Let's get a check of that Garden State forecast right now.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
So if we look back, you have to go almost 5 years to find a storm that was this impactful across New Jersey, all the way back in February of 2021. We get started with the extreme cold throughout the day on Friday into Saturday, with temperatures that begin early Friday morning down in the freezer, well below the 20-degree mark, at times below zero. It's not even including the wind chill. And all of this frigid air will help to allow that snow to start falling as soon as Saturday afternoon. Maybe at the earliest midday Saturday down the shore, but most of the storm takes over late Saturday night for the entire state and really gets going early Sunday morning. You see a little bit of a pink down here toward Cape May and the shore points. That's a little bit of mixing that may occur as there's enough moisture coming in off of the water to allow for some ice pellets and some freezing rain to form. But north of 195, it is a plain snowfall event for you that lasts even into Sunday night, and the storm doesn't even wrap up until Monday morning. So the impacts will be felt right throughout the first part of next week. How much snow can we expect? Plan on at least, I think, 5 to 10 inches across most of the state. Again, that gets going later Saturday night into Sunday morning. You see by here Saturday night, so that snow starts falling, but the worst of it, likely in the brightest shade of pink, could be upwards of a foot, maybe more, by Monday morning. So that's statewide. And again, we'll fine-tune that throughout the weekend, especially with the extreme cold. Saturday, high temperatures don't leave the teens. That's really the big story before the snow begins falling, is just how cold it will be on Saturday, with highs in the teens on Saturday, highs in the 20s only on Sunday, with that snow falling maybe slightly just above the freezing mark on Sunday afternoon down the shore, and then staying in the 20s throughout Monday. So whatever falls doesn't go anywhere anytime soon. It sticks around into next week. We'll talk more about that next week forecast and give you the future cast. That's coming up in a few minutes, Joti.
5 to 10 inches, that's a lot of snow. We haven't had that in a while, you're right.
A lot of snow, yeah, and that's on the lower end conservatively. There could be, higher amounts, especially as we get closer toward the storm. We see those high resolution models kick in that show the banding, which could give certain areas of New Jersey even more.
Wow, thank you, Mike. Get your snow shovels, your snow plows ready. Up next, we take you inside the inaugural ball at the American Dream Mall and catch up with the new Lieutenant Governor. Welcome back. The inauguration of New Jersey's new governor and lieutenant governor was topped off with an evening that is uniquely New Jersey, a ball at the American Dream Mall in East Rutherford. The event took over a converted ice rink for a night of celebration. Attendees danced to performances by Jersey hip-hop legends Naughty by Nature, with the new governor even joining in for an unforgettable moment on stage alongside the group. On New Jersey's Laura Jones caught up with the new lieutenant governor, Dr. Dale Caldwell.
Congratulations on being inaugurated as Lieutenant Governor. What are some of your thoughts just going through your head right now, taking on the evening?
The inauguration today was just fantastic. Every part of it was good. The governor's speech was phenomenal. The place was packed. It looked beautiful. It's really about bringing people together, whether Republicans or Democrats or independents. And so then we come here, we're celebrating. We want to work hard. We have big challenges. We also have to have fun doing it. And I hope people saw with Governor Sherrill, it's about fun, but it's about hard work.
And also, you noted the first pastor to be as a lieutenant governor, and you quoted some scripture and talked about how that really motivated you, your parents motivated you, and how that really is your guiding principle. Can you talk a little bit about that?
It really is. My dad knew and marched arm in arm with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and so, I grew up around this idea that everybody matters. And that's really what this administration is all about. It's really talking about how do we help those who are often overlooked in society, as I mentioned in the speech. And so we're going to work together to do that, to make sure that everybody in New Jersey is living a more affordable, a more prosperous, and a life to experience all of the great New Jersey.
Well, Lieutenant Governor, thank you for taking the time to talk to us. We hope you enjoy the evening.
Yes, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Laura also caught up with New Jersey's U.S. Senator Cory Booker.
Saw you on the stage, front and center, an historic day. Can you just tell us a little bit about your thoughts and reflections on this historic day?
I'm really blown away. I've known Mikey since she worked with the U.S. Attorney, and this dedicated public servant I've seen continue to rise in her reach and her impact, and then to serve with her in Congress these past years during some of the most difficult times in our country, especially with our state and COVID. She just was such a great fighter. Now to watch her today ascend to the governor's seat, I think all of New Jersey is going to benefit from having a uniter, somebody that's a moderate but hard-charging, that's going to get a lot done. And I'm just wonderful to be able to partner with her now as my governor.
The way things work in Washington are different than how they work in New Jersey. What advice do you have for her?
Look, we are in New Jersey. We've got to get away from the tribalism. We've got to bring people together and just get stuff done. For New Jersey, she put it plain. We need to keep people safe, lower people's costs, and continue to make this the state of opportunity for our children and for all families. It's a very clear goal. It's not left or right. It's about moving our state forward. And I'm so happy to have a leader that I can partner with on those things.
There were nearly 2,000 attendees at the ball, which featured Jersey-style foods such as hot dogs and pork roll. Francesca's, a nationwide women's boutique chain, plans to close all 450-plus stores, including 16 in New Jersey. The closures follow ongoing financial struggles and liquidation preparations. New Jersey locations include stores in cities like Hoboken, Paramus, Edison, and Cherry Hill. The retailer's bankruptcy history and competitive pressures in fashion contributed to the shutdown. Liquidation sales and inventory deals are currently underway as the chain winds down operations. Kim Kardashian's shapewear and apparel company Skims Body Incorporated has agreed to pay a $200,000 civil penalty to settle allegations from the New Jersey Attorney General. Now, former Attorney General Matt Platkin has announced that Skims improperly collected sales tax on tax-exempt clothing sold to New Jersey customers from 2019 through 2025. That is in violation of the state's Consumer Fraud Act. Clothing and footwear are generally exempt from sales tax in New Jersey. The company has already remitted the wrongly collected taxes to the state, taken steps to identify and refund affected customers, and agreed to update its systems to prevent future errors. Meteorologist Mike Favetta is back for another look at the Garden State forecast. Mike, this is the first time the new administration will be dealing with severe weather. Should we expect Governor Sherrill to declare a state of emergency due to this snowfall?
You know, I think there's going to be a lot of eyes on the new administration. This is the big storm that something that, is happening just after the same week as inauguration, if you look at that. So, yes, a lot of cold air in place, a lot of snow in the forecast. Let's get a check of the forecast for New Jersey right now.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
So, Joti, it's all about the real cold that settles in before the storm gets going. This is a look of the wind chill early Friday morning, starting off in the single digits across most of the state. But the real cold, that sets in Friday night. You'll notice the wind chill go well below zero as soon as we get into the overnight hours. Friday night time frame, -10 is how it'll feel. If you have Friday night plans up in Sussex, -8 in Morristown, even 4 down at the beach town, so plenty of cold air that lasts through early Saturday morning. A real frigid feel as the Arctic air will be in place before the moisture gets going, helping to develop our snowstorm later on the weekend. I think Saturday night we'll see the first flakes begin falling as the temperature feels like it's still in the single digits, even below zero throughout most of the weekend. And then with a little bit of an easterly wind, you see these arrows coming in off of the water. That will allow for some mixing to occur, really in the form of ice pellets falling by Sunday afternoon down the shore. That's why accumulations will be slightly lower in terms of their total, but it takes a lot to move an inch of ice pellets compared to an inch of snow, so a heavier accumulation falling down at the shore. The bigger view showing the futurecast and all of that snow getting going as soon as Sunday morning, getting heavy Sunday afternoon, and with that some mixing likely down the shore. But look at these darker shades of blue, these bands you see here working in at the coast and across the northern sections of New Jersey, even through Monday morning. We'll probably still see that snow falling right throughout Monday morning into the early afternoon as the rest of the system pulls away. It's a slow moving system, a long duration event, which is why our snow totals will likely be so high, especially with the higher, fluffier snowfall amounts across northern New Jersey. There's even the potential for another round of light snow later on next week, which is nothing in comparison, but to see that even down the road, there's so much cold air in place, there could be more snow in the forecast. Interesting to see. When we pop on the icons here to show that the cold air will be dense upon us, allowing for that snow to get going, snowing later Saturday night. Very fluffy at first, allowing for a decent accumulation before the changeover, even down the shore. Then that storm comes close enough to really pull in a lot of that moisture on the Atlantic and provide those heavy snows later Sunday night. So travel really difficult, if not impossible, late Sunday night as the storm is ramping up. And then as it pulls away, by Monday, we have the back end, which will likely give us, even through Monday morning, an additional light accumulation. So the snow not quitting at least until Monday afternoon. So this weekend, Saturday, still plenty of time to prepare. Snow doesn't get going until later Saturday afternoon at the earliest down the shore. But for most of us, Saturday evening, and then Sunday is the day to hunker down with so much cold weather upon us, Joti.
Okay, thanks, Mike. Good information to know. I know you mentioned that cold before the snow. That sets up the roads for some pretty dangerous conditions, right? The ice builds underneath.
It does.
Yeah.
Right, because there's so much cold air in place that a lot of times just simple road salt is pretty ineffective at melting snow at those cold temperatures. So, those more expensive and more complicated chemicals need to be used on the main roads to keep them safe.
Right. Yeah. Thanks, Mike. I'm going to check in with you one last time because I heard you say snow again next week. So I'm sure that our viewers want to know what to prepare for after the weekend. Thanks so much, Mike.
You bet.
Up next, the Giants' new head coach speaks one-on-one with On New Jersey's Lisa Marie Falbo about his new role. A new top resume study ranks New Jersey in the top 5 states for adjusted entry-level salaries for 2026, factoring in cost of living. The Garden State's average entry-level salary is about $67,000, which adjusts to roughly $58,500 after expenses, higher than many states seen as more affordable. High-profile states like California, New York, and Hawaii are ranked among the worst due to high costs outpacing starter pay. Despite New Jersey's reputation for being expensive and over-regulated, the study shows real job opportunities and competitive pay for some young workers. Commuters in New Jersey, heads up, Amtrak is set to begin a major milestone in the Gateway program starting February 13th with a critical cutover, transferring rail operations from the aging Portal Bridge to the new Portal North Bridge over the Hackensack River. This work means trains will run on just a single track between Newark and Secaucus for about 4 weeks, leading to temporary but significant service changes for New Jersey Transit and Amtrak riders. Think adjusted schedules, fewer trains, and potential diversions. The New York Giants have signed a 5-year deal to make John Harbaugh their new coach. Harbaugh was the longtime head coach of the Baltimore Ravens, bringing a successful track record and lots of playoff experience. On New Jersey's Lisa Marie Falbo spoke with him after he signed with the team.
The introductory press conference of New York Giants head coach John Harbaugh had it all: football, legacy, and family. Giants ownership was in attendance as general manager Joe Schoen formally introduced John Harbaugh, a veteran coach bringing experience, leadership, and an unmistakable energy to the podium.
It's a profound honor to be entrusted with the responsibility of coaching the New York Football Giants. Mike Favetta.
After the press conference, I spoke with Coach Harbaugh one-on-one about what led him to this moment and what's next.
I'm very excited. I'm fired up. It's a crazy place, and it's a lot of energy, a lot of drama, and really more than that, I'm like, let's go to work, man. Let's get started on some football, and let's start building this thing.
The media is very different here already. I'm sure you could tell the difference.
I did notice that. It's different. It's great. It's energetic. We'll have a lot of fun. Hey, I'm sure we'll have our ups and downs. I'm sure there'll be good moments and bad moments. There'll be triumphs and there'll be trials, tribulations. But it's sports, and we're going to have fun. We're going to work hard.
Beyond football, one theme came up repeatedly: family. I spoke with Harbaugh's parents, Jack and Jackie, who were in attendance and visibly proud as they watched their son take this next step.
And when the confidence level rises up and everyone comes together to believe what possibilities are here, I think there's going to be a dramatic change very early. At the end of life, the only thing that really matters is your family, right? When it comes down to it. And right here is a family that's been here for what? Such a long time.
100 years.
100 years from the beginning of when football was really starting. So it's almost like a culmination that they're bringing the Giants back to a pinnacle that hopefully that's where they should be.
As the day wrapped, our conversation turned to something closer to home. So everyone's welcoming you to New York, but we're in Jersey. You're in New Jersey. How excited are you to be here in the Garden State?
You know, yeah, I've been around Jersey. I actually coached in Philly for a while, so I know Jersey, more the South Jersey side. My daughter was a lacrosse player, so we've been in many lacrosse tournaments all through Jersey over the years. We have a lot of friends. She played at Notre Dame. There's a lot of girls on the team from there. So, I'm excited. I'm just excited about the whole thing. I'm excited about Jersey. I'm excited about New York. I'm excited about the players. I'm excited about the Giants. Excited for my family. Just ready to go.
Yeah. Well, you're part Italian. We have a lot of good Italian food in this area.
Well, we say it was Chippity. It was my mom's maiden name, but it got changed to Sapiti when my grandfather came over, right over here, under the Statue of Liberty when he was 5 years old. So, yeah, we like Italian. We're looking for good Italian food.
Yeah. Well, we're a good source. If you need any recommendations, let us know. Coach, congratulations, and we look forward to the 2026 season.
Thanks a lot.
From football to family, the message was clear. This is about more than a job. It's about building something that lasts. For On New Jersey, I'm Lisa Marie Falbo.
Okay, let's get one last look at the weather. Meteorologist Mike Favetta is back. Mike, what can people expect after the snowfalls this weekend? Are we talking possible delayed openings on Monday for the kids, or maybe no school?
I don't think kids are going very far on Monday. There's quite a bit of snow on the way. So let's get a check of the forecast, show you those snowfall totals, Joti.
This weather is brought to you by Audio Nova, your hearing experts, serving all of New Jersey with 13 locations.
So we're anticipating those deep snowfall totals by Monday morning because all throughout Sunday afternoon and Sunday night, that's where these sizable accumulations will come in at least 10 inches across most of New Jersey, maybe more. This is why one of the computer models hinting at up to 18. There's a small chance of that happening, but plan on at least quite a bit of the plowable snow for most of the state, even down the shore where some mixing will be occurring with some sleet. So those ice pellets could accumulate to a ½ inch, maybe more, depending on how much of that mixing occurs. You see that peach color south of 195, really south of the Atlantic City Expressway, is the best chance of seeing that accumulation, which will lower the snowfall total but make it so much heavier in order to clear the roads. And then by Sunday afternoon, some of the freezing rain may be working in, especially across portions of the southern part of New Jersey, maybe an icy glaze on the treetops by Monday. And this is the part of the forecast that's unclear as of now. So stay tuned for updates throughout the weekend because some of the highest resolution modeling will come in, giving us a better idea of the types of snow and winter weather that will fall, as well as how much by Monday morning. By Monday afternoon, the whole system clears out, and then we are sucked in with another round of cold, with overnight lows down in the single digits, actual air temperatures for several days staying below the freezing mark. Once we drop below the freezing mark, and this is the rare part, by later tomorrow night into Saturday, we stay at or below the freezing mark, not getting above it for at least the next 6 to 7 days going into next week. And that also includes places down the shore, which may not get back up to the freezing mark until Thursday of next week. Joti?
Okay, there is a little bit of sunshine, so I'm looking at that. But you brought up a good point, Mike. You said that's heavy snow, so that's the kind that's pretty difficult for people to shovel. So just a reminder to kind of pace yourself if you are out there shoveling the snow, right?
Absolutely. Weighted and waterlogged.
Thank you so much, Mike. And thank you all so much for watching. I'm Joti Rekhi. Check ONNJersey.com for more news and weather throughout the day.